Hey YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. Today I'm really excited for us to watch part of a national wake-up call from Team Beachbody President Michael Neiman. Now this video was posted in December 2020 and he's giving us a new perspective for 2021. I'm really excited to watch this video and as always, please let me know what you think down below.
All right, everybody. Our featured speaker, he has been here since the beginning when we were called $1 Million Body back in 2006.
Did any of you know that Beachbody used to be called $1 Million Body? That is the worst name ever for a health and fitness company. When I hear that, I think that someone might have spent lots of money on plastic surgery and maybe all of their surgeries combined were $1 million. Nothing wrong with plastic surgery. You do what you want, of course. We can all make our own decisions. However, that's not a good image for a health and fitness company. I found that interesting. I didn't know that.
Which is 14 years ago. He helped start the network. We now have almost 450,000 coaches and millions have gotten results with our products. We
all know in the vast majority of MLM companies that most of the revenue comes from the coaches themselves. And so when you have distributors themselves, when you have 450,000 coaches, all of those people are paying their monthly coach fee. All of those people paid $160 to become a coach. And all of those people are getting they're purchasing at least 90 personal volume points with the products every month so they can be qualified for Success Club. Not going to do the math now, but if we were to calculate the revenue that Beachbody gets, I would guess that the vast majority of it would come from coach purchases and not from individuals who are outside of the coaching network.
Excited to bring on President of Team Beachbody, Mr. Michael Neiman.
Hey, Sandy, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm very excited to be on the new platform.
I know.
Once a year, I get an invite to be on the National Wake Up Call, and Sandy always saves it for this week between Christmas and New Year's because it's the lowest attended call of the year.
You're our guinea pig today, so you know what? It's working out really nice. People are loving it. So
it's my pleasure, and I'm very excited to be on the call with everybody. Forgive me, I'm in my garage because it's early here in Los Angeles, and there's still people sleeping in my house. I miss going back to the office. But anyway, and by the way, I have
fair that you miss going back to the office in 2020. That was like the first year of the pandemic and everyone struggled with that transition. If they were lucky enough to keep their job, of course, not everyone did. Everyone struggled with that. No one did it seamlessly. So fair, Mr. Neiman, that you wanted to go back to the office.
My dog is sleeping at my feet. So hopefully he doesn't wake up and start barking and pulling cords, but we'll give it our best. So, it was funny. Sandy asked me a couple weeks ago if I'd be on the National Wake Up Call. And I'm never quite sure what wisdom I could share because, I have to tell you before I even start, let me first give a shout out to Sandy. Sandy said, I've been here 14 years.
Sandy was the individual who started the call, and she's the Beachbody employee who leads all of these national wake-up calls and reaches out to the coaches she wants on and plans their scripts and their presentations with the coaches.
Sandy's been here almost as long. She was one of the first people I hired in 2007. So she's an old timer too. But Sandy, Kevin, Darren, week after week, you guys do such an incredible job on this wake up call. It is some of the best training that a coach could have. If you're a new coach, stick with it. Tune into every National Wake Up Call. If you have new coaches on your team, make sure that they're checking out the National Wake Up Call because the advice that they get from coaches who are having success in this business is just incredible. And I wish I could share great advice like that.
I probably had a video on the National Wake Up Call a few videos ago. I don't know exactly when I'm going to put this one, but we all know that the National Wake Up Call advice is not actual tactical advice to build your Beachbody business. Most of the time, it's empty platitudes, motivational platitudes. It's, oh, I have a busy life and look how I made it work. Oh, I had something traumatic happen and look how I made it work. It's very rarely actual tactical tips and advice for someone to be successful in business. Because what these coaches need to know is like, how do I grow my Instagram? How do I grow my Facebook? How do I have good conversations? How do I provide content that's valuable to people? How do I be a good salesperson? How do I have good customer service so I keep high customer retention? In my opinion, that's what these individuals would need to know, not how to stay motivated, how to stay disciplined, and how to work through a traumatic experience, in my opinion. What do you think?
But I can't, but I will share with you just some thoughts as we approach 2021. Earlier, a couple months back, I was asked to speak at an industry conference, an online conference, and they call me every year to speak.
Ooh, which conference? I know most industries will have conferences. That's nothing new, but I think multi-level marketing conference would be interesting, and a conference full of just like CEOs and top level employees like the president or vice presidents. I wonder which conference it was. I wish you would tell us because I want to go research it.
Speak, and usually I say no, and about every 5 years I say yes, and the reason why I say no is that my first instinct is always, what do I have to say that isn't going to be said by everybody else? There's nothing that is so special that I can share, but they press and press, and they want to hear from Beachbody, and they want to hear why Beachbody has been really one of the premier successes in our industry.
Every MLM in the world says that. Doesn't Monat say, we're the top premium hair care company in the world? And then you go and Google it, say like, what's the top premium hair care company in the world? And they're not even in like the top 10. And then other individuals in Monat will say, we're the fastest growing hair care brand. It's like, of course, you're a multi-level marketing company. The growth in revenue in multi-level marketing companies comes from the distributor signing up and paying for the personal volume requirements. So of course, an MLM company is going to grow faster. And he just said he pretty much said Beachbody is a leader in the MLM space, in my opinion. And like, where's your stats? Who's saying that? Like, are they actually in a position of authority to make that kind of statement? I wonder, because you could just make it up. You could be like, I am the most incredible high jumper in the entire world. It's true because I said it, right? And I don't need to back it up. Do you know what I mean?
And so this year, I told him again, I'm not quite sure what I would speak about. And he said, there's a lot of new people in new companies, new startup companies that are getting started. And if there's any advice that you could give to them. And so I thought about,
So there was a lot of new companies in 2020 starting. I wonder why so many new MLMs opened in 2020. I said this 1,000 times. Every anti-MLM channel in the universe has said this 1,000 times. It's because everyone was desperate. Everyone was scared because they're losing. They might have lost their job. Maybe they still had their job, but they're wanting to work in a safe, healthy environment and not worry about getting sick. And then maybe they wanted to work from home. And the MLM distributors were taught to prey on the vulnerabilities of 99.99% of the population. And I'm sure business people also noticed that vulnerability and wanted to prey on it as a way to make more money. So that's not surprising.
I had to say, and it might be a little bit applicable to perhaps some new coaches that are on this call that are had just become part of the Beachbody family. And so
family, I hate when my workplace says, oh, we're a family. And in my opinion, I've said this before, you can have friends at work that you consider your family that love you like a family member. And that's wonderful. And that's great. But I don't think just on the basis of us working in the same place, that every single person in that office is a family member. I think might have a few close work friends, but majority, they're my work colleagues. They're work acquaintances, and then like my family's at home, my friends are outside of work. What do you think? That's just my experience, so it might be different for other people.
What I did was I thought back to the 14 years ago, and I really think that a decision that we made in November of 2006 was probably one of the best decisions that we ever made. And
so that's the decision to turn Beachbody into a multi-level marketing company.
And that was, Carl had this idea to start the team Beachbody. Sandy said back then it was called $1 Million Body. Thank goodness we changed the name. But to start this business. And so like any business that's starting, just like a new coach, we didn't have any coaches.
This is really cool. This is why I wanted to watch this. We're going to hear a little bit about the Beachbody origin story. So listen up. It's pretty interesting.
We didn't have anyone on our team to really kick off and start this organization. And to be honest with you, we weren't even really quite sure where to look. So what we did was
So he's talking about he wasn't sure where to find the first Beachbody coaches who like might be already connected to the company, might already be aware of the products, might have already done the products themselves, but who can also succeed in the network marketing side. So the selling products, the recruiting others to also sell products and recruit others.
We looked to where we thought people would really understand who we were the best, and that was our customers. And so
your coaches now are still your customers, Michael Neiman.
Way back then, we had what we called the message boards, the Beachbody message boards, and people were, getting great results back then. We had a fairly new product, a little thing called P90X that had actually been out a couple years, but was just starting to pick up steam. And we had a program called Slim and Six with Debbie Sievers, and Turbo Jam was going back then with Shalene. We thought, okay, on these message boards, we have these people, we have these customers who had gotten great results with the products, and they were actually helping other customers get their results with the products.
So before Beachbody was actually like a big MLM company, I'm assuming all of the clients would just go onto like message boards and talk about the programs and like give people advice and tips and encouragement, right? And I feel like that's probably where the accountability groups were birthed from, right? That was a weird way to say it. That's where those groups started, because those were already like people were already holding each other accountable and helping each other stay motivated. I don't know what was actually in those message boards, if like sweaty selfies were a thing, or if people were like actually leading groups of individuals who were going through the same programs. That would be interesting to see. But he just said he saw lots of customers on there who were also, but this was before you could be a coach, who were also helping other customers get results.
And it was really just, I used to love to sit and read those message boards and read the relationships that would develop between people. And, I always tell the story that I remember when I first started, there was a message of somebody that said, I bought P90X, I got it, I've done 3 workouts, I'm so sore, I'm never going to do it again. And then out of the blue, someone they never knew popped up on the message board and said, wait, don't quit. Just keep doing it until day 17. I don't know why day 17, but I remember it was day 17. And for 17 days, I watched this relationship between this customer who bought P90X and was trying to figure it out, talking with another customer who had used P90X, figured it out and got great results, and a little relationship formed. And sure enough, on day 17, the person said, you're right. I'm going to be able to finish this.
There's a big difference between someone who's a customer of Beachbody and who doesn't have any financial stake in someone continuing with P90X and a coach doing the same thing. We've talked 100 times on this channel about how Beachbody coaches make money, and say even if that person who bought P90X, they did not become a coach, that was like the only product they purchased, that person is still getting the upline, the coach is still getting commission from that sale. And then if that person says, oh, I loved P90X, I want to purchase more products, I want Shakeology, I want this, I want to be a coach, then that like you could plug that person into your downline and you can make Team Cycle bonus. And then if they grow a team, you can get a matching bonus off of them. So he's going to say later that like coaches now are just doing the exact same thing that customers were doing on this message board. But we know that's not true, because we know these coaches are taught to put people through a funnel that starts in the like Facebook or Instagram pages where you leave breadcrumbs about the programs and the coaching opportunity and the products. And then you funnel interested people through those posts into like, oh, message me if you're interested, or like responding to your polls, or you go into their DMs and then you funnel them from there and see like what they would actually be interested in. Are they interested in a free group, a paid challenge group? Do they just want the products? Do they want to jump right into coaching? So the motivation is different here in 2006 when that person was just trying to be a nice person and support another human who was doing the same program versus someone supporting someone who's doing a Beachbody program because they have the motivation to work them through the funnel and eventually sell them products or have them as a member of your downline. What do you think about that?
And it was that inspiration that made us think, you know what, if we're going to start this network, rather than go out and try and find network marketers from other companies, why don't we talk to our customers? And so what we did was we found about 36 of our most active people on those message boards. And we said, hey, would you like to come to a meeting we're going to have in Los Angeles? We have this idea and we'd like to share it with you. And so they came to this meeting. We also invited a handful of people that did come from network marketing. I think we had about 8 of those people or 7 of those people that came who had been involved in network marketing that we found through putting ads in industry trades, but we didn't really know them. And I will say,
so they put ads in, I heard industry trades. I don't know what that means, maybe like magazines at the time or on websites. So you put ads like, we're starting a new multi-level marketing company. Come join us. Come be some of the first coaches. That's interesting. I never thought of how MLM companies found their first distributors. And in this case, it does make sense to first draw on the customers who are the most engaged and who are helping other people through the programs. And then, of course, you need to maybe find some people who already know how to do network marketing and have already found financial success. So he said 36 active customers and then 7 or 8 people who have found success in network marketing at some point.
Say there were a couple of hybrids. There were some people that had some experience with network marketing and were using the products and excited about that. So anyway, we brought these group of people. There were 43 of them to a hotel room in Beverly Hills, California, and we presented this idea of Team Beachbody. And I have to tell you, perhaps like a new coach who's nervous about doing a good job with a presentation and worried that it's not going to go well, it didn't really go that well. I remember it was the first time that Carl had sort of presented in front of a screen with a background, and he immediately jumped into a weatherman routine. I had laryngitis.
Aw, that's okay, Carl. Like, I know Carl is participating in unethical behavior, but he is a human like the rest of us, right? And before he was used to presenting in front of thousands of people and massive summits and conventions. Like, I understand how it might be like scary and uncomfortable to present in front of 36 plus 8 people, 44 people that you don't know. And also, I don't know how Beachbody was financially before they decided to do network marketing. If the financial success of the company was predicated on the success of that presentation, I could understand why that would be scary. And I think it's funny that Michael said he went into a weatherman routine. I think that's funny. I would like to see that.
Laryngitis that day, and people could barely hear me, but we muddled through this meeting, and we told everybody that since we were just starting out, they can sign up for free. So they all signed up.
I have a question, Michael. Do all of these people who signed up, were they all on the same level of the pyramid? So did you have 44 people at the very top and then all of the downlines went down from there? Or did you have one person at the top and then you like built out your binary compensation plan and the other people were just slotted in? Either way, it doesn't really matter if you're the first person at the very top or you're the 20th person down at the bottom. Like, if you're the 20th person, you're still making millions and millions of dollars through Beachbody, and you probably don't really have to work because you have the vast majority of the 450,000 coaches in the network are in your downline and you're making millions of dollars off of them. But what do you think? How do you think that worked? Do you think they were all on the same level, or do you think they picked someone to be at the very top of the pyramid?
But the really interesting thing happened after that. And that was that these 36 customers who really had no experience in network marketing and were sort of confused even after my laryngitis presentation about how it even worked, they just did what they knew how to do. And that was share with people the results that they got and help them get results themselves. And it's so interesting because
you can't really compare it now, though, because at the beginning, I don't feel like those coaches would have known that by sharing, they're going to get people in their downline and they're going to make money off of them through the different bonuses. Because you said at the beginning, they didn't really know what they were doing and they didn't really understand network marketing. So I feel like for the first coaches, at least at the beginning, they might not have had the motivation just to build their downline and they might have really just wanted to share. But now we know the top coaches, they share for the purpose of bringing people into their downline and selling a product. So the motivations are probably different.
That simple concept of people getting results with products, loving products, sharing that experience, and bringing new people in to get their results and make them advocates just created our culture. Within a year, most of those people that came in with a network marketing background who said, here, let me tell you guys how to do it. This is how we're going to do it. Most of them were gone. And the people, those 36, emerged to be some of our biggest leaders and are still here today.
Of course, Michael, they would have emerged to be your business leader, your biggest leaders, sorry, because when you're at the top of the whole ass pyramid, you're going to make the most money. You're going to have the most people in your downline. And I do think that motivation for these first coaches would have changed once they fully understood the compensation plan and saw that to rank up, you need lots of people in your downline. To cycle, you also need people in your downline who are meeting their PV requirements. And then if you want to get a matching bonus, you have to make sure everyone in your immediate downline is also growing a team themselves. And it literally just keeps going on and on down the pyramid. And once these first 36 coaches understood that, they're not going anywhere, in my opinion, because you can make millions of dollars a year and you don't really have to do anything because you have like some of these people probably have like 300,000 people in their downline and you don't really have to work when you have that many people.
But that culture, they insisted from day one that this was going to be a business about getting people results. It wasn't going to be a business built on transactions. It was going to be a business built on transformations.
If it's not built on transactions, why can't you provide your employees with the products they need to do their job properly, to showcase their results, to get a transformation, and to help them bring in people to the business? Because I feel like if it wasn't just based on transactions, Beachbody would send out a certain amount of free product every single month for every single coach, so they can use that free product to build their business. And then if coaches wanted more products, they can purchase that on top of the free product. What do you think about that idea? We're based on transformation, not transactions, but these 450,000 coaches in your company all spend a shit ton of money in your system because they have to.
And 14 years later, that's still the core of what we do. When we get people results, they fall in love with our products, they build a belief system, and they become the best coaches. The people that come in with a, hey, come in and, money's going to fall from the sky, usually they don't last because it sits outside of our culture. Our culture is a human culture. It's about people helping people. And I have to say that
the sad part about this is that you, Michael Neiman, you know that the vast majority of people in your company are losing money, and you probably helped make the compensation plan, and you know exactly how people rank up, how people get all these crazy bonuses, and you probably made the compensation plan complicated. So your average individual coming in would not understand it, would not know, looking at it, that for them to make any money, they need to be extremely active on social media. They need to be talking to hundreds of people a week and recruit people into their downline. You know this, and you're still saying that it's based like we just care about helping people and getting people transformations, when the vast majority of people are struggling in your company, are going into debt, and are experiencing significant mental health struggles because of the system and the structure that you helped Carl create. What do you think?
That is why Sandy asked me, why am I excited about 2021? I'm excited because I think that 2021 needs Team Beachbody. It needs our
No one needs Beachbody. People need to get out of Beachbody.
culture. People need to feel that human connection again after spending 2020 only connected by computers. And
it's so predatory, Mr. Neiman. Yes, in 2020 was really hard because we all had to adjust to working from home, not seeing our friends as much. I didn't see my family for like over 2 years because I was scared because of COVID, and I didn't want to put them at risk. And there are other ways now to find connections with people in a kind of post-COVID world. It's still very much a thing, but like it's less dangerous now for your average person. There are other ways to find connections. You can go to a workout class, you can join a club, you can join a hockey team, you can join online communities of like areas that you're interested in. You don't need to go to Beachbody to find a connection with people now that it's less dangerous. Do not join an MLM just for that, please.
And they need to get results. They need to start feeling good about themselves. And we have the opportunity to do that. And
I made a video a long time ago on my channel just talking about how I lost a good amount of weight without Beachbody. And I felt good. I had pretty good body image before, but I lost about 55, 65, I don't remember, 50 to 60-ish pounds. And I did that. I found workout programs on YouTube that I enjoyed. I cut down on my calories. I tried to eat better, just moved more. And I said that in that video a long time ago. As long as you don't have an underlying health condition that might make it harder for you to lose weight, what you need to do is move more, eat a little bit less, and eat a little bit healthier, and chances are you're going to lose weight. So I lost a lot of weight. I had a really good physical and mental transformation just by following those basic easy steps, still enjoying my junk food, still eating candy if I felt like it, but just doing everything in moderation. So again, Mr. Neiman, we don't need your overpriced MLM pyramid scheme products to get a transformation and feel more self-confidence. What do you think?
And we have the responsibility to do that. If you've signed up to be a coach, that has to be one of the reasons, because I will tell you, when you help a person, when they come up to you and say, thank you for getting me involved in this, that is the biggest reward. That is more than anything could pay out in the compensation plan.
I think statements like that is to guilt people for wondering why they're not getting paid, saying, oh, I worked 20 hours last week and I got paid $50, I got paid $20. Oh, well, that one person that bought a challenge pack from you, they probably think you changed their life and they're probably loving the product. So just think about the impact instead of the money. So people are brought in to these companies, making them think that they can find financial freedom through them. And then once they're here, they're told to not worry about the money and instead focus on the impact. What do you think?
That is tremendously valuable and fulfilling. And that's what we have the opportunity to do. And I think that 2021 is going to present itself in a huge way. We're already starting off the year with a bang with Autumn's program, 9-Week Control Freak. I saw in the comments, people are
9-Week Control Freak was a very, very expensive program for coaches because there's a lot of equipment. And a video that Deanna Mims did a long time ago was telling us that Beachbody coaches like to say, oh, it's cheaper than a gym membership, but then you have to purchase challenge packs when new programs come out. And a lot of times you have to buy equipment, right? And 9-Week Control Freak, you had this weird control track that went into the door. You often need to purchase benches and dumbbells, yoga mats, balls, whatever, and you're strongly encouraged to purchase those through Beachbody instead of like Walmart or Target. And then of course they're going to be more expensive.
We're loving it already. And you know what? The customer launched last Monday on the 21st. There were a lot of people that were distracted on the 21st, the week going into Christmas. Now this week, we always say this is really our 5th season of the year, because after the week between Christmas and New Year's is one of the biggest weeks for people to make a decision that it's time for a change. So make sure that you are reaching out to people this week. This is a huge opportunity week. 9-Week Control Freak. Kevin said, MBF is going into the member library. If somebody isn't ready for 9-week control freak or says I'm not interested in that, MBF is a fantastic product. Every week, there is no excuse not to have a bod group running, a challenge group running. There's no excuse not to be inviting people every week, because there are so many people who are not just needing help, but they are looking for help to get results. And
so, Mr. Neiman, do you want us to look for people who are unhappy with their weight, feel uncomfortable in their skin, maybe they lack self-confidence, and they're really desperate for a change, especially over Christmas, when lots of people over the holidays, when people are making New Year's resolutions and goals to get their health back on track? You want to seek those people out and invite them to join your predatory business scheme, or to purchase your overpriced fitness programs or products. And a subscriber told me this a while ago, that some of the fitness programs are actually high quality. And of course, the Beachbody programs seem really good, seem to be beneficial to people. My issue is they're overpriced, and you can find very similar programs on YouTube or other platforms for free or a lot cheaper. And he's making it seem like Beachbody is the only solution to people who need to be healthier and feel better about themselves, when there are other ways that you can achieve your health and fitness goals. The recovering Hunbot, I was watching one of her old videos. She was in Beachbody, and she says now her workouts involve long walks with her dogs, and she loves it, and she does it as often as she can, and she's consistent with it. So find something you can be consistent with, that you enjoy, that's reasonable for you, and stay with it.
We have the tools and products to get them. We have Shakeology, unbelievable. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, and I think this week it's coming out, or next week, but we just recently shot some videos with Darren talking about Shakeology. And, after, I think it's 12 years that we've had Shakeology, you get to be sort of, like, oh yeah, Shakeology, yeah, it's great. But you forget really how special that product is. I can tell you, I was there back in my first year when Darren and Isabel were formulating Shakeology. And I remember Tuesdays were my most dreaded day of the week, because Tuesday afternoon, Darren and Isabel would come in with the latest version of Shakeology. And this was before they had discovered the flavoring system. And, you forget how healthy Shakeology is because it tastes so good. But back then, you could taste every adaptogen, every natural product that was in that. And literally, I remember I would try and get it up, and it was so hard to get it down. And it is amazing.
I feel like a lot of these coaches are taught to use buzzwords that they probably don't know how to define. Michael Neiman, what's an adaptogen? Tell us. Tell us what these natural health ingredients are, and actually show that you have some knowledge of the product that you say is so life-changing and so amazing. I feel like the vast majority of coaches don't have a good knowledge of the products, because you don't really need a good knowledge of the products. In MLM, the products are secondary, and you are taught to only bring people into the business and worry about the products later. So anyone who's been in Beachbody or tried Shakeology, what do you think of the taste? Did you enjoy it? Did you just have it with water and ice, or did you have to include other ingredients in there? Like, did you have like milk or yogurt or frozen fruit or spinach? How did you have your Shakeology? Did you like it? Did you think it was worth the cost?
That something that healthy, that they were able to figure out how to make it tastes so great. So don't forget about Shakeology. It is a vital part of our solution. We need our bodies operating at their most optimal to get results. And our nutrition is so.
You can get your body to operate at its most optimal through other ways other than Shakeology. You can go to a nutritionist or a dietitian and say, like, what nutrition, where are my nutritional deficiencies? How can I have a better, more well-balanced diet? You can go to a trainer and they can help you figure out how to exercise to best meet your goals. You can go to a physiotherapist if you have any physical mobility challenges, and you can seek the assistance of professionals who are trained to help you through your specific health and fitness challenges. What do you think?
So important. Carl always says you can't outrun the fork. And that is.
There was recently a post on Beachbody's Instagram page where Autumn Calabrese said this, and she showed a really intense workout, won't undo this. And then it showed her eating like one brownie. And then people underneath the comment were just, the post, sorry, were just freaking out, of course, saying like, one brownie, two brownies, three brownies is not going to undo the great thing I just did for my body, for my heart, for my mental well-being. And people were saying that they don't like how Beachbody promotes toxic diet culture. And they eventually deleted the post because there were so many negative comments under it, rightfully so, where people who were feeling upset that like they were in this company that touts health and fitness and everyone can reach their goals, and then they're just food shaming people, saying you cannot eat a brownie and also want to be healthier. What do you think? Did anyone see that post, and did you notice that it was removed? Super interesting.
Is true. Shakeology is a huge part of our products. We know that we have people who say, yes, I want to work out, and then they sign up, but then they struggle with that first workout and can't get through. Energize, Beachbody Performance, that was specifically formulated to address that.
It wasn't specifically formulated to address anything. It's a pre-workout caffeinated powder, so you have more energy in your workout, and then post-workout, which is just helping with your muscle recovery. The way these coaches are taught to talk about these products make it seem like it's such an amazing, groundbreaking invention when it's just a pre and post workout. What do you think?
The tools, and the most important tool that we have is you, the coach. That was the most powerful breakthrough that Beachbody did. We had been selling fitness VHSs and DVDs for years before we started the Team Beachbody Network. And we were producing great product. But you know what? We know that many people purchased that product and never took it out of the wrapper. And that's the role of the coach.
Maybe, Michael Lehman, less people than what you're making it seem were buying the product, and you wanted to start an MLM structure, like you knew that all of your coaches in your company have to buy a shit ton of product every single month to be active, and that's how you're going to sell your product. So that's why the coaches are the most important piece of this weird ass puzzle, because they're the customers.
We added the human component into the product, just like those coaches, just like before we had coaches, those customers on the message boards that were looking out for people and guiding them and inspiring them and motivating to get results. That's your job as a coach.
No, it's not. It's your job as a coach to bring people into your downline and sell product if you can, and buy product. When you're a customer on a message board, you're literally just trying to help people without like the thought of the motivation of financial gain. So I could say that 100 more times in this video. I'm not going to keep repeating myself. I'm sorry.
And that is unbelievably valuable. I will tell you that I am a total slacker. And when it comes to working out, not my favorite thing to do. I will work out. I start programs. I stop programs. I start them again. The few times that I've made it all the way through, it was when a Beachbody coach actually told me that they were going to hold me accountable, and they held me accountable, and I finished the programs. I got results, and I was so happy. And
Michael, sometimes people just don't want to do the same kinds of workouts every single day. And it's totally fine if you didn't want to go through a whole program. Like, why can't you do like day 3 of one program, day 6 of another, day 1 of another, just so you're doing something different every single day? Or like, that's fine. What's wrong with not wanting to go through like the same program for 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever? Now there's Beachbody On Demand Interactive, where you can just do like standalone classes and you can get more variety. But at this time, that didn't exist. What do you think?
The thank you that I gave them was so heartfelt. I know that they appreciated it. So don't forget, when you are inviting people to your groups, you are an incredible part of that challenge pack value. Yeah, for $160, $180, $200, whatever the cost of the challenge pack is that you're selling, yes, they get 12-month annual subscription to BOD. They get Shakeology HD, or they get on Beachbody Performance Stack. They get all of those things. Those are all going to help them to.
They don't automatically get Shakeology on Home Direct, right? Like, what if they just purchase a challenge pack one time and they just stay on Shakeology for 1 month? He's making it seem like everyone who purchases a challenge pack is going to keep purchasing the products in that challenge pack, and that's not true.
To get the results, but don't forget, they are also getting you, and that is incredibly valuable. And you could be the difference between somebody getting results and not getting results. So be proud. Don't think like, oh my God, I don't know if I can really offer them anything. You can. Just keeping them accountable, pushing them, nudging them, cheering them on. You are going to be such a vital part of them getting results. So
I don't have a problem if your friend is like, hey, Susie, get to the gym. You said you wanted to work out today. Make sure you go. Or, hey, Susie, I'm going to go to the gym with you because you think like you're not going to make it. And if I go, you're going to go too. That's like an accountability buddy, and that's fine. But what happens in Beachbody is coaches who, the vast majority of them, do not have any qualifications, are giving advice and tips. Oh, you want this, you want to achieve this goal, you should do this program, you should do this program, you should use this product, you should do that product. And I think that can be kind of dangerous. I broke my foot 3 months ago and I'm still recovering. If I go to a Beachbody coach and she tells me to do a certain program, I could hurt myself. I need to go to my physiotherapist and get advice from a professional who's trained to help people through injuries, not a Beachbody coach who doesn't have qualifications in the area. I could go to a Beachbody coach and ask them which products I should take. They could give me a tip of advice, a piece of advice, but they're not going to know that that product could interact poorly with my thyroid medication, right? And yes, we're all adults and we should be taking a proactive role in our health and double checking things with the professionals first before we introduce new things into our diet or a fitness routine. But not everyone does that. Not everyone has that wherewithal to say, like, I'm on this certain medication, I need to double check first. Not everyone has that in their mind, unfortunately. And I think it could potentially be a dangerous situation when you have unqualified people giving health and fitness advice. What do you think?
We talked about what's going on in January. Later in the year, we've already announced a Shaun T program coming. Shaun behind the scenes is working on that thing, and that is going to be so fun, so fun.
That's Let's Get Up, a dance program. You can find dance programs and workouts all over YouTube.
That everyone is going to want to get up in the morning to do that, and they are going to get results. We've got some amazing things planned for the rest of the year. Great product coming around Summit that I can't tell you about. Incredible.
Beachbody and all MLMs always seem to release new products at Summit. So coaches are not only getting themselves to Summit at massive expense to them, but then when they get there, they're also strongly encouraged to purchase a shit ton of new product and gear and do Beachbody merchandise.
Stuff, groundbreaking fitness stuff happening towards the end of the year. We have groundbreaking new nutritional products in development. I can't wait to tell you about it, but it is.
All of the Beachbody products that they release, they're always groundbreaking. They're always game changing. They're always new and innovative. And I don't think you can have every single product you release be groundbreaking and game changing and world changing. I don't think that's how it works. What do you think?
It's going to be a game changer. So much is happening in 2021 that our mission to help people achieve their goals and live happy and fulfilling lives, healthy and fulfilling lives, we are primed to do that in 2021. So if you have any hesitation about thinking, should I get started today? Should I double down on my efforts today? Don't, because today, the decisions and actions that you make today and tomorrow and the next day are going to help so many people. And helping people is ultimately what is going to grow your Beachbody business. The more results that you can help people get, the more likely that you're going to have other advocates joining your team and building a healthy and thriving coach business. So
advocates? Are Beachbody coaches advocates now? Because there are people who are actually in positions entitled health advocate who advocate for the health and well-being of people. So now are we calling you Beachbody coaches advocates too? Like that's crazy to me. That's nuts. He's saying the more people you help get results, the more your Beachbody business is going to grow. Doesn't matter. Excuse me. Sorry. It doesn't matter if people get results or not. It matters if they stay in your downline and if they continue to contribute to your matching bonus and your team cycle bonus. That's all that matters.
Here's what you got to do. Okay. When you're done listening to me, I want you to go and make sure that you have a plan of action for the year. And a plan of action is only good if you then take the action. So this is what you have to do every day for at least at a minimum of 5 minutes. You've got to focus on your business. Hopefully you're going to do it for more than 5 minutes. But the day that you say, I'm not going to do it today, just do it for 5 minutes, because those behaviors, those daily behaviors are what's going to grow your business.
I don't hate that advice, Michael. I think it makes sense because say you don't want to work out that day. You're like, okay, I'm going to do this really easy 5-minute thing on YouTube and at least I move my body today and it's fine, right? When I've done that, I do an easy 5-minute video. Then I'm like, oh, I could do another 5-minute video. I'll do this 10-minute video. And then 99% of the time I end up working out for like at least 15 minutes, even if I really didn't want to. Or you can say, I don't want to work out today. I'm going to go for a walk, 5-minute walk instead. And then I end up going for like a 50-minute walk. So I like that advice. I think it's good advice. Unfortunately, we all know these coaches could work their businesses for 10 hours a day. And unless you recruit a shit ton of people who also recruit a shit ton of people, you're not going to find any level of success, in my opinion. Although I do like that advice.
All right, listen, we're going to have a fantastic 2021. Don't forget, Super Weekend, January 9th. We've got some great training planned. It's going to be awesome. Make sure it's virtual. We can all be there. You can do it in your pajamas. We got to.
Michael, just because it's virtual, that doesn't mean that it's easier for people to get to. If someone has like a couple toddlers and a baby at home, that's not necessarily easier for it to be virtual because they're still like keeping their children safe and fed during that time. So just because someone doesn't have to leave their house, it doesn't mean it's easier. What do you think? I've learned a lot this past 2 years working from home, doing meetings from home when you have children around has been, oh my goodness, what's wrong with my throat? Sorry, has been very challenging for a lot of my colleagues, and they found it a lot harder to just do their work at home.
A workout plan for you guys. It's going to be awesome. Take the steps, help people, stay true to the Beachbody mission, and I can't wait for 2021. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's have a fantastic year.
Michael Neiman, you remember when they called it the Neiman Nothing? Yeah. I think that now it's the Neiman Something. So
you're graduating. No one even knows what you're talking about. What I'll just fill them in really quick.
This part is pointless, but we can just listen to it anyways.
Back in P90X, if you recall, if you ever done P90X, Tony Horton, he names different exercises after people. So he named like there's the Congdon curls after John Congdon. And I was telling Tony that my dream was to have one of the moves named after me. And he said, well, I don't know how that's ever going to happen. And then he said, actually, finally, he came back to me and said, I know what the move is going to be. And I said, what's that? And he goes, well, sometimes when we're working out and I ask you if you've got one more in you, you always say no. And I said, well, it's a yes or no question. And he said, well, because of that, I'm going to make that move called the Neiman Nothing, when you don't have one more. And he encouraged everyone not to do it.
So, well, hey, thank you for the message. It was really, really on point. And I wrote something down, and that is that resolutions are so 2020. 2021 is going to be all about goals.
Goals and,
Goals
as
and
Autumn Calabrese would say, taking control of those goals, right?
Isn't that the same thing? Tell me down below if you think I'm wrong. Goals and resolutions. Sandy and Michael, explain the difference to me, please, because I don't see it.
The
Yep.
goals will remain goals until you take action on them. When you take action on them, that's when they move from being goals to realities. And then you can create new goals.
Thank you for the walk down memory lane, and thank you for getting us focused on 2021. You have yourself a very happy new year, you and Diane. And thanks for being on the call, Michael.
So that's all I wanted to talk about today. My goodness, sorry. I really wanted to talk about the Beachbody origin story. I found that really interesting about how Michael and Carl invited a bunch of customers and a few outside network marketers to a hotel, presented, say, hey, please join for free. We need you. And then from those 44 people, some of them left. From those approximately 44 people grew the 400,000 person Beachbody coach network. And of course, those 36 people, most of them are probably still there. Most of them are going to be the biggest leaders in the company, even if you don't recruit ever again, because you're going to have mass amounts of people in your downline, and they're making at least the $12,000 maximum in their team cycle bonus, because it's your entire left, your entire right leg. Doesn't matter if they're personally sponsored coaches. So technically, those people don't really need to recruit if they don't want to that often. You need to recruit occasionally, so you don't have to be reclassified to preferred customer. But as long as they recruit once every 6 months or sell a product to a customer once every 6 months, they don't really need to do anything, and they're going to get $12,000 a week. What do you think? So that's all I have for today. I'm sorry for the random coughing fits. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.